Hey guys, this is Thigh Company here. Welcome everybody to the show, to this live stream. Today is October 29th, 2023. Welcome everybody. Hope you all are having a wonderful day today. And the title of this live stream is called The John Who Believes in Ghosts and Raptors story. And this was a request that I had from a few people. It's been a while since I've wanted to do the request or to tell the story. And I figured now that it's just about Halloween, it would be a good time to talk about it. So and also it's been probably the first time in a very long time since I've done a webcam live stream, and I'm right now in my eBay office or eBay kind of workshop. And right before I start the story, I'm gonna kind of show you all basically all kinds of stuff we've pretty much been selling on the eBay store or the merch store, and we've been doing pretty much fine with that. But let me first close the door right quick here, so this way I don't have people, rushing in and interrupting my story and all that, and so no one comes in saying, "Hey, you're talking too loud" or whatever. So, so John was this coworker of mine who I worked with way long ago, almost 10 years ago. Right now, he was a coworker when I was working at the movie theater, and uh, pretty much he and I we had the same position as like a movie theater member, and what we did was like would go in to clean the movie theater after the movie was finished playing. I think we were like cashiers there at the time, even though I feel like I was probably a cashier a little bit later. Like we probably started back in 2014, and I think he started about the same time I started, or maybe like a few weeks before I had started back in 2014. And but his favorite role working at the movie theater was cleaning the theaters. Um, for me, it was sort of the opposite. I hated cleaning the theaters most. Uh, but anyhow, he nobody running after you and yelling at you, and but I kind of felt like it was different. Like it was boring, and I do feel like people were kind of going after you, making sure, hey, make sure this theater is cleaned in time so that the next movie theater or when we let patrons come in and watch the film, that it's ready for the show. And John was sort of a kind of a religious guy, but he like wasn't really like religious to the point where he would be talking about his religion all the time at work, sort of deal. But he expressed to me that, oh, I used to work here, I used to work there, and some of the jobs, or one of his favorite jobs, was that, or his story was that his dad worked at a Walmart that was right across the street, or not across the street, but pretty close, within a minute drive. Um, and he figured that, oh, his dad was going to work at that Walmart, and then he was going to work at the movie theater, and then maybe later go to Walmart if the pay was sufficient. And um, I think his dad was like an inventory stalker or something like that, but his dad had at least like 5 years of work experience, and I think it was maybe even closer to 10 possibly. But during that time, pretty much everybody was getting paid minimum wage, which was $7.25 at the time. And keep in mind, this is in Charlotte, so this is in the South, and this was back in 2014. And his dad had like gotten like a raise or a promotion or something, and he was being paid like $8 or $9 versus $7.25, which at that time was sort of a big deal, especially for like I guess I don't know the best term to call it, but people starting work, or maybe like low income families. That difference is a difference in pay is something. So anyway, we were getting close to Halloween at the time, or maybe it was like after like the Halloween season, but uh, John always thought that like the movie theater was haunted, and that was one of the reasons why John wanted to get out of the movie theater and go work at Walmart. He thought the movie theater had like bad energy, or it was like cursed or something. And I was with him at the time, and we usually at that point I think we were usually working the evening shifts, so like closers or closing shift, and which usually means that you're at the movie theater at least until 11 p.m. If you're lucky and you can get, I think what they call getting cut, or get basically to go home early. You could maybe go home at maybe like 10:30 possibly, but typically we had nights, and I had nights where we were there past 1 o'clock in the morning. Like we had maybe once in a while we would have a night that would even get close to 2 o'clock in the morning. But I don't think we were ever there past 2 a.m. Usually by like 1:30, everything was clean, and we were probably waiting for the last movie theater to check out. And what John always thought there was like spirits in the movie theaters, especially like towards the back of the movie theater. And he always thought that, oh, the back of the movie theater was always like darker, like bad lighting or poor lighting. Um, and he always was hearing like weird noises and stuff. That was like one of his first claims. And so what he decided to do, his first thing was like, and at that time, I think I had like an iPhone 5, and I might even had an iPod Touch at that time. But I think the iPhone um, was pretty much what I had. Yeah, I think that is what I had, or maybe like a flip phone. Because I was kind of late in the game of getting like an iPhone at that time. And what I remember was we all had like, basically he had a flip phone and I had probably some like an old iPhone or a flip phone, and he thought that if like kind of like what you'd see in like a Ghost Hunters TV show, he thought that if we went into the theaters, had lights off, and we were taking photographs of different corners of the room or like certain areas, his theory was that, oh, there's a bright light, and usually it's probably like light from reflection of the lens or the flash of the camera, which would be captured when taking the photo. He believed that that light that was being reflected back towards the camera was a spirit. And he was saying, oh, these are white spirits, man. You never know, man. Which is one of his kind of favorite phases, you never know. Um, and he was getting like obsessed with this like ghost hunting. He thought he was going to like get photos of like spirits, and he always had this like um, crazy imagination that these flashes that he would see, like, oh, I see like a face here, and I see like hands and arms and feet, and he would always freak out if this flash like didn't look white. Like if it was like a gray or dark gray or even like a black figure, he would go freaking insane. Like he would be afraid to walk in the theater, or he would go in and immediately run to like turn on the lights, and only then, if he was there with at least like 3 or 4 people, he would only then begin to clean the theater. And we had like a general manager who would always get on him. I think that was like one of the things, or him being late, or not cleaning the theaters in a quick enough time frame. And he eventually, at one point, and I think this was like one of the back theaters, and I don't remember if it was like the left or right theater. I want to say it was the back, like left theater, like the very last and very back of the theater. Um, he says that he turned on the lights and he looked up at the ceiling tiles. Like he had a feeling like he needed to look up. And he claimed that when he looked up at those ceiling tiles, and these were kind of like a dark gray color, he said he saw footprints, and he took a photograph of it and he tried to zoom into it, and he says that those were raptor footprints. So he now thinks that at this point was thinking that there are ghosts and raptors in the movie theater. And he was like, uh, going crazy about it, telling and bragging to everybody about this discovery of his. And I remember he like came up to me one day, and I don't know if I was tired or maybe exhausted or what exactly. And I remember like having my fingers, and I was doing something like this, like kind of like I'm exhausted, my head hurts. And when I was doing this, he thought I was doing some kind of like symbol or something with my fingers, like, and he called it the third eye. He said, "Oh, Alex, I think you have the third eye." I'm like, what is that? And he was like, "Oh, it's a device or a tool that some people have that helps them concentrate their spiritual energy." And I'm like, "Okay, so what does that mean?" And it's like, "Oh, you can use that to help guide yourself in danger." And he's like, "Oh, we're in danger because we have spirits in this cursed theater," or something like that. Like I was his like defense against, you know, crazy stuff, whatever he was believing in. And that was his like story or thing that lasted like a few months, probably up until like early 2015. So this was probably a good like 5 months or so, up until like beginning of spring of 2015. And unfortunately, he left. And from my understanding, when he left the movie theater, he went to work at that Walmart, and he was offered like $10 an hour. And his dad was mad because the dad was like making $8 or $9 after 5 years, and then boom, his son comes into work and gets a starting pay of $10 an hour, which in 2015 for him or that family was good. Of course, now in 2023, that sounds probably awfully low to most of you all. But I just think it's such a funny story. And then John never really worked at that Walmart for a long time. He went into opening his own catering business, was a chef at one point, cooking food, preparing dishes. And I think he found a girlfriend, and he moved somewhere up north. I want to say like Connecticut, maybe somewhere up in like the northeast coast of the U.S. And we still kind of talk every once in a while, but such a rare thing. But I always thought that was such a funny, interesting thing that happened to me right when I was first working at the movie theater, which was my first like official job. Uh, Other than like when I was in like maybe middle school, I did a little bit of like lawn care, mowing grass and all that. And yeah, that was pretty much kind of like one of the first crazy like adventures. And I think he and like two or three other people were like my very first like work friends, like people you become friends with at work, or kind of more like than like a coworker, if that makes any sense. And yeah, ever since then, as far as I know, John's been working as a chef somewhere up north, and well, he's been having a good time there. So yeah, guys, if you like this story, make sure to subscribe, like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and also comment down below what you would like to see for future videos, maybe future stories, because I still have a pretty good number of things in mind or different stories. I'm going to try to get online more often as much as I can, but again, with family issues, with grandfather being also in the hospital still and recovery, he is getting better. He's in like a progressive care unit, but again, it's hard to say how long all that's going to take. And we're kind of optimistic. We're hoping that he gets to return home by the end of the year. We don't. Again, it's hard to tell. No one really knows when and what will happen in the future. So yeah, guys, we'll see you all next time. Thank you all for coming to the live stream, and hope you all have a good, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. And have a good time.